things are so incredibly terrible right now. They're awful to the max. It's really bad. Things are really, 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 really bad. So right now, we're actually in Pennsylvania right now. Not me. I am home in my bedroom. But where we are right now is actually in Pennsylvania. They're back in harmony because things are terrible, 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 terrible. So Joseph and Oliver, they're actually fled and they're seeking partial seclusion right now because the persecution is so bad. Like, this is not even 4 months after the church is established. And you would think that the translation of the Book of Mormon and setting up the structure of the church would be the hard part, right? And only to find out that things would get so much worse. That they're just beginning the hard times. It's just getting started. So the whole translation of the Book of Mormon, the whole establishing a church, that wasn't the hard part. That was like the easy part. So what do they have to look forward to? If it were us in this situation, it's like, for real? Like, are you serious? Don't you think, I feel like once we do what the Lord wants us to do, especially when it's hard, we feel like there is some sort of level of like, I don't know, ease that should follow as a result of doing what he wants you to do. Maybe as like a blessing because you did something that was hard and new that I required of you. You should be exempt for just a small season of something hard happening. That's how my brain sometimes works. But this is not the case. The persecution is so bad that they're stopping people from getting baptized. They made a dam. They built a dam so it could be, enough water to baptize people, and they destroyed the dam. Emma, Joseph's wife, is waiting to get confirmed because the persecution was so bad that she hasn't even been able to be a confirmed member yet since her baptism. Like, okay, so this, and Joseph's young. They're 23 and 24, him and Oliver. That's young, And they're trying to, like, sort it all out, figure it all out, while everyone is coming out after him. So at this point, he's already been, was it twice? Arrested twice? He's already been on trial, and this is a response to things going from hard to worse to even worse. So this is perfect counsel. We're in Doctrine and Covenants 24, and this whole chapter is just, it's so good. It's so good. So obviously, yes, we're talking about Joseph and we're talking about Oliver and a little bit of context that they fled for partial seclusion in Pennsylvania because everyone is coming out after him. And in my mind, their possible brain space could be, what? Why, when we're doing what you asked? Why can I not have just even a small season of things to get a little bit easier after doing something hard? So here's where we're at. And here's the response. Are we ready? It's so good. You guys, this chapter is very good. Obviously, think about yourself when we read, per usual. Doctrine and Covenants 24, behold, thou wast called and chosen to write the Book of Mormon, and to my ministry, and I have lifted thee up out of thine afflictions, and have counseled thee, and thou hast been delivered from all thine enemies. Thou hast been delivered from the powers of Satan and from darkness. Does that seem a little ironic, considering their situation? Or Does it maybe seem like, even though it's very hard, you're doing it? You're making it. Just a little bit of perspective shift. So instead of saying, this doesn't make sense because of the situation I'm in, for God to say that, or with a perspective shift, we can see, even though it's hard, I am still here. And I am here because of God. Know what I mean? Okay, it's so good. Oh, okay. Yeah, isn't that great? I've lifted thee up out of thine afflictions. And he's saying that while they're in afflictions. Okay, nevertheless, it's just, oh, I love that verse. Look at this, verse 1. Already in love. Nevertheless, thou art not excusable in in thy transgressions. Nevertheless, go thy way. Keep going, God is saying. Sin no more. Magnifying thine office. So potentially they could be thinking, I can't do this right now. Or what do I do during the persecution is so bad? Should I even be focusing on anything else, or should I focus on surviving? And the answer that God is telling them is magnifying thine office, meaning keep serving in the capacity that I have asked you to be in. And after thou hast sowed thy fields and secured them, go speedily unto the church which is in Cosville, Fayette, and Manchester. So Fayette is back in New York, so go back. And they shall support thee. I will bless them both spiritually and temporally. Which covers all your bases, spiritually, temporally. All right, if they receive thee not, I will send upon them a cursing instead of a blessing, and thou shalt continue in calling upon God in my name, and writing the things which thou shall be given thee by the Comforter, and expounding all scriptures unto the church. So what he's saying is, regardless of what's going on, I'm protecting you. Keep going. Continue. Stay close to me. It shall be given thee in the very moment what thou shalt speak and write. Don't get in your head too much about it. I will be with you when you need it. And thou shalt hear it, or I will send unto them a cursing instead of a blessing. For thou shalt devote all thy service in Zion, and in this thou shalt have strength. Be patient in afflictions, for thou shalt have many. But endure them, for lo, I am with thee, even unto the end of the days. That is verse 8, and it is incredible. Be patient in afflictions. We kind of hate that phrase a little bit, but it's fine. Be patient in afflictions, for thou shalt have many, but endure them. For lo, I am with thee, even unto the end of thy days. So I'm not going to take it away from you, but I am here. I am with you. You are not alone. I am still in charge. In temporal labors thou shalt not have strength, for this is not thy calling. Stay focused on what he wants you to do. Attend to thy calling, and thou shalt have wherewith to magnify thine office, and expound all thy scriptures, and continue in laying on the hands and confirming the churches. So, right, they kind of had to put that on pause because of persecution. So they're saying, move forward and do that because that's important. And thy brother Oliver shall continue in bearing my name before the world, and also to the church. And he shall not suppose that he can say enough in my cause. For lo, I am with him to the end. In me he shall have glory, and not of himself, whether in weakness or in strength, whether in bonds or free. And at all times, in all places, he shall open his mouth and declare my gospel as with the voice of a trump, both day and night, and I will give unto him strength. I will give unto him strength, such as is not known among men. So I will give you a strength that is so strong, man cannot, it's not known to man. That's what that just said. Pretty cool. Can we wrap our mind around that? I don't know. Probably not, because my brain is on man. That's how my brain works. Okay, I will give him strength, such as not known among men. Require not miracles, except I shall command you, except casting out devils, healing the sick, and against poisonous serpents. and against deadly poisons. And these things ye shall do, except it be required of you by them who desire it. And the scriptures might be fulfilled. For you shall do according to that which is written. And whatsoever place ye shall enter, and that they receive you not in my name, you shall have a cursing instead of a blessing. That's the second time we've heard it. By casting off the dust of your feet against them as a testimony, and cleansing your feet by the wayside. And it shall come to pass that whosoever shall lay their hands upon you by violence, you shall command to be smitten in my name, and behold, I will smite them according to your words in my own due time. So when people suck, sometimes we feel like we need to take it in our responsibility to do something, or even sometimes we just get in our head. I feel like we've all done this, where if someone's doing something wrong and you catch them doing something wrong, then you wonder, how are they allowed to do X, Y, and Z because they did this? How are they allowed to have this calling when I know they're doing this? Do you ever like get in your head about like, I can't believe they did that? But then like what? It's just fine? They're allowed to do something so awful, and what? They just keep living their life? Isn't it so easy to just like get in your head about that and waste your time on these thoughts? Or when we may even feel like we need to like do action to get back at these people who are wronging us, to make sure it gets done or something. I don't know. But this verse is just saying, can we just move past that? Can you just not and let me, God, handle it in my own way, on my own time? Can you just don't carry that responsibility and that weight? Just go. And whosoever shall go by the law, and with thee shall be cursed by the law. And thou shalt take no purse nor scrip, neither staves? Neither two coats, for the church shall give unto thee in the very hour what thou needst for food, and for raiment, and for shoes, and for money, and for scrip. For thou art called. Isn't that fun? There's more to that sentence, but I like it almost just like that. Don't worry about X, Y, and Z, because I called you to do this. Meaning, I will help you do it. So just go. All right. For thou art called to prune my vineyard with a mighty pruning, yea, even for the last time, yea, and also all those by whom thou hast ordained, and they shall do according to this pattern. Amen. Okay, Doctrine and Covenants 24, check, we did it. So what did we just hear from God? What is he saying to Joseph and Oliver in time of terrible persecution and seclusion because of the persecution? Well, he said, I am with you. Keep going. I am with you. Don't stop. I am with you. And I am going to give you strength that man cannot receive on his own and man cannot understand on his own. Stay focused. Don't worry about other people. I am with you. So, if we're ever having a hard time, read Doctrine and Covenants 24 to kind of have a little bit of a reality check of where he is and his participation in this. That although, yes, he may not take things away, but that does not mean he is not in charge of taking care of us still, regardless. It's a great chapter. Delivered from darkness. Go thy way. Continue. Be patient in afflictions. That could be a whole avenue that you might want to explore on your own. Just that phrase. What does that mean? What does that look like? I am with thee, even until the end of thy days. Thanks for hopping on. I know I'm on a little bit earlier, but whatever. See you tomorrow.